Yeah, it's me, Uncle Ricky. Hey, look, welcome to another episode of Uncle Ricky's House. I gotta spend some time talking about the lunacy, the tyrannical attitude that some of these MAGA governors are taking. And it's not even about good governance for their state. They're trying to prove that they can be true autocrats, maybe even low-level dictators, and run the country. Now, you have DeSantis down in Florida, who is basically choking the life out of his state, and it's to the point now where the state assembly that supported him to the hilt, that actually helped create the Frankenstein, in Florida, much like, the MAGA Congress people and senators helped create Trump. Now they have to deal with DeSantis being totally out of pocket. It appears that even in Texas, Governor Greg Abbott has finally managed to perhaps go one step too far and piss off the Republicans in the state assembly, because now he vetoed like 37 line items, the most vetoes out of a proposed budget, because governors in Texas have line item veto power, ever in the history of Texas. And the state assembly, after they cheated basically the Democrats out of everything and created what they thought was going to be, a pure puzzle piece that would protect their money and put the burden of financing the state on the shoulders of the middle class and poor, it appears that wasn't enough for Abbott, or that wasn't the way it wasn't exactly the way Abbott wanted to make the stew. So everything that he didn't like, he just went on and vetoed it, and now he has a battle on his hands. In Virginia is supposed to be a blue state, but Youngkin is slowly snaking his way into complete power, trying to prove to the nation that he is presidential. He has the power, he has the backbone, he has the will to mold a country into the shape that he wants it. That's what all these people are about. They are about making the state or the country exactly the way they think it should be. They don't care about the state constitution. They don't care about the national constitution. They don't care about, what individual sections or individual groups need. They don't care about recognizing that the state is composed of mostly people that ain't like them. It doesn't bother them. They don't care about the voice of the people. It's all about them and what they want, and maybe the suggestions of a few close friends and associates that they consider to be human beings. And all of this, we worry about it. Trump taught us to worry about it at the national level. But really, we should start looking at the state level, because it's already apparent that some of these people have only been in office, 2 to 6 years, and their policies have already had enough time to take effect, and the negative consequences are showing up. And it's not the governors that are hurting. They're going on doing their thing, pretending that to prove that they are the leaders that this nation needs. DeSantis going off and doing a book tour, as a warm-up to his run for presidency. He's over in Israel talking about the mouse in Disneyland. he's trying to have a battle with Walt Disney, the biggest employer in the state of Florida. And he's trying to put Disney in its place. When Disney's not a perfect company. Disney has its thing, but Disney has done far more good for Florida than it has done bad. And because Disney voiced an opinion, I guess in protection of their employees, when DeSantis, pushed his Don't Say Gay bill and further marginalized LGBTQ people, Disney Corporation spoke up because they have people that identify as LGBTQ working for them, and they didn't want their employees leaving because the state was inhospitable. DeSantis did it again with his woke agenda. He's killing public education. He's killing higher education because he's taken over all the regent boards for all the state-supported colleges. They can only teach DeSantis-approved subjects. And even though DeSantis is a graduate of Harvard, prestigious, it appears that he doesn't want anybody else in Florida to be anywhere near as smart as he is or have the type of education that he had. Perhaps because he's a thin-skinned individual, petty individual. And he feels like as long as he's the smartest person in the room, supposedly, at least in his own mind, his control will be the ultimate, that nobody will question. Oh, he graduated from Harvard and the rest of us just went to community college. I don't know. But you see how it's going? All of these governors are building a power class system, an economical class system, where the rich that don't disagree with him, they're all cloistered together, and then the rest of the state has to put up with whatever they put out. This is their audition for the MAGA crowd, for the conservative right, to become president of the United States, because they feel like if they can prove that they can take their individual states and put them under their thumb, that the conservative right will be impressed and back them and support them for a run into the White House. Now, originally, they were all afraid of Donald John, and Donald John had them convinced that nobody could touch him. But if you watch the news and you watch as things unfold, it appears that Donald John, especially after the recent interview he had, he may have talked himself into the rest of his life in jail after court. It remains to be seen. But this is given the puppies, the Bravo males and females, the idea that it's time to take down the alpha male, the leader of the pack. Now, Trump's followers say it's not going to happen, but the sensible part of the Republican Party, who are trying to push Trump to the side and make the world forget about him before the next election, are desperate for a powerful figure to lead them. And this is the gap that everybody wants to fill. Now, whether they successfully draw the majority of the MAGA crowd with them, that remains to be seen. But the things they're doing to prove that they are worthy of the servitude, I guess, of the MAGA nation, is killing the states that they lead. Workers are leaving Florida. Migrant workers are leaving Florida left and right because of Dan DeSantis' anti-migrant bills. Nobody's going to hang around when some idiot, whether you're legal or illegal, has the right to just stop you and ask you for your papers, like you were a runaway slave back in the antebellum days. Educators are leaving because they can't teach anymore. They can only repeat what DeSantis approves, and what DeSantis approves is, it's not even borderline evil, it's disgustingly evil. Youngkin, sneakily and behind the scenes, is making power grabs left and right, trying to make it so that even if he doesn't run for president, if he runs for governor again in Virginia, everything will have to flow through him. Everything will have to be approved by him. Nothing else will matter unless he agrees with it. And some people look at that as strong government, but what it is just a hotbed for corruption. Kristi Noem out of South Dakota, she's doing crazy stuff. Meanwhile, she's getting caught left and right, just like her idol, Donald John, and so far she's being a Teflon governor, beating it all, and basically continuing right down the path of, I do what I want to do because I'm the governor. Kemp, maybe out of all of them in Georgia, he might be the most honest, and Georgia is probably the state that is the most well off. But he still caters to the far right, the segregationists, the Christian nationalists. He doesn't really acknowledge the neo-Nazis and the Klan, but it's still there, and it doesn't seem to be a whole lot of effort to really quiet them down. And the Georgia State Assembly is ruby red. You got other traditional reddish states that never thought that the South lost, like Alabama and Mississippi, and they continue to do what they do, but their governors really don't have an eye on the White House. They just have an eye on basically screwing their states into the ground and lining their own pockets. All in all, it is not even resembled, it doesn't even resemble democracy. It is closer to fascism in this state, and the resemblance is becoming more of a reality every day. And it's not even for the purpose of improving their states, because most of the states with these governors are dying every day. Virginia, Georgia, it hasn't started to show up in Virginia. Virginia has always been one of the states that seems to get by and be well off, maybe because of where it is and the things that are there and the resources that it has. But these power grabs are going to hurt the fundamental systems of Virginia. Youngkin is anti-public education. He wants to turn it over into more of a Nancy DeVos type arrangement, privatize charter schools. And that all has consequences within itself. And really, when you look at it, the people that need education the most are the people that are going to be hurt the most by a state-supported charter school system. Now, we don't know where this is going to lead, because in reality, it's still part of democracy. Democracy is supposed to envelop all political ideals, but it's still supposed to be the majority rules. And in these states, the majority may rule, but there is no equal representation. The black vote is diluted. LGBTQ matters. State assemblies are trying to make just about anything associated with LGBTQ illegal. Take away the voice. Education is on the chopping block, because just like in the words of their leaders, Donald John said a few years ago, I like dumb people. It's easier to contend with. They're easier to impress. It's the magpie theory. It's the dumbing down of the state, which eventually turns into the dumbing down of America. And the only way that this move towards fascism, at least on the state level, which is eventually going to feed into the national level, is for the voters to take their states back. And it's not going to happen overnight. People have to wake up and see where they're being lied to. And the other party, the one with the donkey, the Democrats, they're going to have to get real and start doing real things, even if it's one thing at a time, and stop trying to be so grandiose and try to fix things so that we have a future, 50 years down the road, and fix things so that people can eat and have medical care today and tomorrow. Well, that's it for me, Uncle Ricky. I hope that, some people enjoyed what I said. Some people got something out of what I said. And I know a lot of people would actually wish, that I hadn't said what I said. But I said it anyway. So peace out and God bless from me, Uncle Ricky, at Uncle Ricky's house. Well, that's the end of another episode of Uncle Ricky. Hey, look, if you like what you saw and you enjoyed it, you learned something, look, help me keep doing this. And I'm not asking for your money. All you got to do is use your finger, and don't take that the wrong way. Just hit the subscribe button, hit the notification button. Most of all, hit the like button, hit the share button. Type a few words. Let the old man know how you're feeling. I'll get back to you. But let's help Uncle Ricky's house keep growing and going. Thank you, and as always, peace out and God bless.